Hey, what's up guys? Node Investor here. I want to make a quick update. I wasn't planning on making a video here today, but with the news and the crazy market action today, I think we are ready for an update. What a day it's been. What a week it's been. These are exciting times in crypto land, I gotta say. Let's take a quick look at the markets. If you guys got my newsletter, I did send out an alert today. If you hadn't heard, Bitcoin was seeing a little bit of, I would say a little bit of panic selling. It caused some selling in some of the other Ethereum, Litecoin. So we're going to go into that today, where things could be heading from here, and a couple of things I'm looking at on the very strong side. So let's take a quick look at the markets. Bitcoin, $1,655. Ethereum, $85.29, Dash $83. Litecoin down a whopping 12% today, $26. Litecoin has been on a decline ever since it peaked on SegWit Day just a couple of days ago. I think it peaked at around $37 on Coinbase. So it's seen quite the move back. Monero, $27. Ripple, very strong. Ripple at 20 cents. Ethereum Classic, $5.89, continues to slide down a little bit. Pivx is trying to find a base here around the dollar. Excuse me. Zcash at $94. Factom $8. NEM 12 cents, and Lumens just under 4 cents here. So let's look over at Poloniex. This is the USDT exchange. This is a chart of Bitcoin here on the daily or the 4-hour chart. You can see it's had this sell-off. It was basically approaching $1,900, met some resistance there, and then just really started to drop down here today. And then we saw a couple of big hours of where it just basically dropped $100 almost in no time. We're finding some support here around these moving averages. We'll see if they hold a little bit. You know, we've been saying it for a while. Bitcoin was probably due for a correction, a little bit of pullback. There's been a lot of froth, a lot of hype, a lot of exuberance. You know, when you start seeing predictions of $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 Bitcoin after we've nearly doubled in 2 months, those are just generally signs, warning flags. So I was not surprised at all, and I was not surprised that the spillover kind of ran into Ethereum, Litecoin, some of the others. Let's look at the other charts. Let me hop over to Ethereum. Ethereum here, surprisingly, on a percentage basis, Ethereum held up the best today, and I'm really liking the action on Ethereum so far. Looking pretty strong. If we look at the dailies, let me zoom in out a little bit here. After the big pop on the $50 range, it's kind of gone up and just really settled. It had this big sell-off day, which was really a big support day. And I'll go into some more charts there. Litecoin had the big pop. This is SegWit Day right here. Went up to about $37. Has since pulled back. If you got my analysis, I kind of said even to $25 wouldn't really be that big of a deal. Looks like we hit that today. Let's see if it holds. So far though, pretty toppy action in Litecoin. At best it'll probably just sit around here, but it looks like it wants to go down a little bit. Let's hop over to the other charts here and dig into some details. I'll get back to NEM here because NEM's looking really good here. Let's look at the BTC real quick. On Bitstamp, you can see the big top here put in place. This is Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart. If I zoom out a little bit and give you the dailies, we had the big run up. This was kind of forming a little skinny channel, and then today saw a pretty big down day. You know, decent volume on the downside, nothing crazy like we saw back here, but still a pretty big down day. Hitting the moving averages right now, the very short term 10 period exponential moving average. So we'll see. It's kind of hard to say. I mean, Bitcoin could just hold here and then continue to higher. It's certainly due for a pullback. I would not be surprised to see a little bit more downside testing if this short-term moving average doesn't hold. The next stop will probably be around the $1,500 mark. That's just my guess. would also coincide with this longer term moving average, would probably reach 1500 by that point. So we'll see where it goes. Bitcoin could pull back here and everything will be just fine. Just keep in mind, guys, cryptocurrency is pretty volatile in general. If you look at the history of Bitcoin, you get these sharp moves to the downside, and then the big moves up and sharp moves down. If you're a long-term holder, investor, you're just buying a little over the long term, you really don't care about this stuff. You're going to buy and hold. If you're trading this stuff, you got to really keep an eye on these things because they move and they move fast. Let's look at it on the Coinbase here. Here's the channel I had drawn for you guys earlier. I saw it close below this channel. I issued that alert earlier. It's kind of sitting at this moving average again, so we'll have to keep an eye on this in the next couple of days. Let's go to Ethereum. Ethereum was, considering the action in the other ones, Ethereum's been holding up pretty good here. It had that resistance a couple of days ago around the $96 mark and has just kind of pulled back into this support zone here on quiet volume. I'm liking the action so far. If it can hold here for a couple days, we might see another base building on Ethereum, probably set up for another move up. So Ethereum's looking pretty healthy here compared to the others. Litecoin took a pretty big hit today, and really over the last couple of days on a percentage basis. So if you measure this move here, you know, from the SegWit peak down to about where we're at now, you know, at the low it was about down 35%. Now it's down about 30%, but still a pretty decent move to the downside in 3 days, yet not uncommon for cryptocurrency and anything in this space. If you look at the longer term, I had drawn this little bit of a trend here. This blue arrow, you can kind of see it. I did some analysis a couple days back, and I said, you know, if it breaks the downside, $25 would not be surprising. We're basically there. We've, in fact, touched it a couple of times in the last 2 days here. So we want to see this area of support hold. If it doesn't, you could, you know, it would not be out of the realm of possibility to see Bitcoin back down to this $19, $20 range. Big support's going to be here where they announced it on Coinbase around $16, $17. I do not expect it to come back down to those levels. If we do, that might be an excellent opportunity to get in. Most likely, I think a $25 range will probably be a good support area. If not, the $20 range is pretty solid. So keep an eye on Litecoin. Still looking a little toppy here, but probably had the biggest down hit in the last couple days relative to the others. Here's Litecoin on Bitfinex. So let's take a look at some other ones that I'm looking at and I think are very strong considering the action in the market the last couple of days. Let's look at Ripple. So Ripple's had a huge move up lately. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you guys can see this, but I drew these lines here. Ripple was forming a little bit of a pennant. I said, hey, if Ripple's going to move up, it's going to do here pretty soon. If we look at the 4-hour chart of Ripple, basically just edging out of that move there. Pretty solid move up, hitting that resistance in the $21, $22 mark. If it can clear that here, we're going to have another leg up on Ripple. It's basically just letting these moving averages catch up. So Ripple's pretty strong here. Not seeing any downside on Ripple yet, so if this little trend can hold, I mean, we're probably going to see another leg up on Ripple here soon. Another one I'm looking at is NEM. I'm really liking NEM here. Let me go to the NEM chart here. This is NEM on the BTC. So NEM had this breakout and basically popped right up, consolidated a little bit, hit this trend line, had a huge move up, and then has been pulling back ever since then. On the newsletter I sent out a couple days ago, I basically pointed out this little area where we were at. I said if this thing can edge out around 6,700 BTC and close there a couple of times, we're probably going to see another leg up. And that's basically what it's doing. It's moving on it up a little bit. I'm really liking NEM here. I picked up a little bit here. I'm going to add some more if it continues to pull back a little bit. But I'm liking NEM here. We'll see where it goes. It really has to clear this 8,000, 8,500 area if it's going to be a sustained move up. Otherwise, it's going to just form a double top and could possibly come right back down. So keep an eye on NEM, but overall, NEM is looking pretty solid here. Another one is Stellar. Now Stellar's a newer up and coming, probably a lot higher risk than NEM, but forming a really nice pattern here. So you see the huge run up in Stellar, probably way overdone for the time period. It pulled back in pretty sharply, hit this moving average, bounced around here a little bit, got real quiet here. You can see the volume just kind of tighten up here, and then we had the big volume pop, and you can see the move up. I sent a couple tweets on that. I know some of you guys noticed that, and Stellar's kind of looking pretty good here, pulling back a little bit. I think this is more with sentiment from today's action in Bitcoin and Litecoin and such. But if this purple line here holds, this moving average on the 4-hour, we're probably going to see another move up on Stellar. So Stellar's looking pretty good here. I'm liking Stellar. Again, probably higher risk, more of a short-term thing. Not sure about Stellar long-term. There's a lot of works and developments competing with Ripple, basically a fork of Ripple. Not going to get into that right now. Near term, Stellar's looking pretty good. NEM's looking good. Ripple's looking good. Keep an eye on Litecoin. If you missed the initial move up, this may be an opportunity to get in or to add. But pretty toppy action here in the near term. So it may just need to settle in for a little bit and then move on higher. I still think longer term, we're going to see Litecoin over $30 here and potentially approaching that $40. That's it for today, guys. I'm working on some more stuff in terms of courses, how to get started with a lot of this. If you're brand new to cryptocurrency, you want to learn how to get your first Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin or whatever, I'm going to work on a course to show you guys how to do that, as well as this technical analysis. I'm going to go into a lot more indicators than just moving averages and such that I use here. I try to keep it simple on these videos, just because getting into the charts sometimes can be a little tedious, and I'm trying to keep these videos a little short. So keep you guys posted on that. Until then, take care.